For today, I really want to talk about something that I think is really interesting, which is habits. Hey guys, this is Catalin, and I'm really doing this interesting thing. For once, I think this thing is beautiful. What you can see in the come si chiama cadro in inglese?
Frame.
In the frame, it's beautiful, and I wanted to make something. So as you know, the most of you know me. You know I've been vlogging for the last 200 days or something. But what I've noticed in a lot of vlogs that I've done is that it's really hard for me to do. One, because I'm doing meetings and I'm doing all these things and I'm traveling and I got a bunch of other stuff in my mind. And also, it's really hard for me to actually share a message in those vlogs. So what I want to do is change the context a little bit and try to do more videos like this, and maybe like I share something on a specific topic. I may answer some questions or whatever it is and go with the flow with that. So for today, I really want to talk about something that I think is really interesting, which is habits. I've got the pleasure to meet a lot of amazing people, and especially when I was really young, I mean 15, 16, how I've met those people is through books, right? And a lot of people ask me like, okay, how do you do those things? How do you do all the things that you're doing? And I really do not know all the answers to all the questions that people ask me, right? Because I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. But what I do know is that to my kind of way of doing things, there has been a lot of habits that I've learned from a lot of places that have helped me to do what I'm doing today. So I remember when I was 15 or 15 and a half, I didn't read a book in my life to that moment. I was not really awakened or extremely smart or whatever you may call it, right? I was doing dancing, I was at school, and I was doing all these things. But I was not really interested in learning all that much, right? And that's interesting because I'm so interested now, so it seems interesting. But what I've done is that I went to this movie and with a couple of friends, and I've seen this thing in the movie, which one of my friends said, you see that thing, those like 4 squares in the top right? I said, yes. What about them? And he said, those things are subconscious subliminal messages that they embed in your mind in order to market to you. And I was like, what? Like, what is that? That sounds really weird. So I didn't really give it that much thought, but what I've done is after I finished the movie, I went home and I've searched for subliminal messaging and subliminal marketing. And I got to find about this little video of Bob Proctor, which I've interviewed. You can see the video with that. On subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and that really got me interested. So I spent like 2-3 days going through all his material. Then I developed a small habit that really changed the course of my life, I think, and that was reading. Now for me, you may think like, oh, of course I read, it's perfect, like you're not a genius. I know some of you, and probably most of you, read, but when I was 15 and a half, or what age I was, I didn't read a book in my life, and I hated reading, right? So for me to actually develop a habit and a commitment to read every day was a huge thing. So that was habit number 1 that I've done, is I started reading, and I developed kind of a habitual thing to read 1 hour every day. I woke up earlier. Yes, I woke up earlier. Earlier means like you sleep less, okay? And I read. And that was really fascinating to me. It developed for me kind of a base of knowledge that I've kept using, and I'm still growing every day. So that's number 1. Number 2 thing that I've done is I've done this really funny thing from James Altucher, which is called the 10 Ideas a Day exercise or something. It's from his wife's book, Claude, I think her name. I'm sorry if I misspell her name, but she has this amazing book, and her book is about coming up with 10 ideas on a lot of things each and every day. So I've done like 10 ideas on how to use a brick, or 10 ideas of businesses you could start, or 10 ideas of things you could do every day to make somebody else happy, or stuff. And I've done that for about 150 days straight, maybe, and that developed something that I think is really fascinating, and it's my ability, and I know I'm getting really scientific here, but my ability to connect neurons a lot better and to make fast-paced connections and see patterns faster and all these things. And I love that because in marketing, you know, the things that we're doing right now with increased media and everything, that's really helpful. So that's number 2. Now, number 3 I've done is I've taken something from Tony Robbins. I think it was from Tony Robbins. It's called 15 Minutes of Power. Something like that. And it's basically, I wake up every morning. A lot of people that really know me know I'm obsessive with this stuff. I wake up every morning and I read my affirmations. I have my goals written on cards. And then I do 15 minutes or 10 minutes of visualization. So I essentially take my goals and visualize them as being true, you know? Now what this does for me is it puts me in an incredible state each and every morning, and that kind of sets me off to do incredible things that day. So those are kind of 3 things I've done. Now I want to keep these videos short, at least for this one, the first one, because I gotta get back to work. For those of you that do not know what that is, work is something that I do sometimes. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know. I'm really curious. I really want you to do this. Let me know what are some habits that you've developed, and what are some things that you're trying to kind of do in your life, but you do not know how to implement them in your life. Oh, and one last thing. The way I've implemented these habits and I've kind of set on doing them is I've taken this experimentation mind frame. So I'm taking things, I'm experimenting with them for a month, and then I'm deciding if I want to keep them or not. So that's the frame I've kind of decided on to have these 3 habits that I've described to you. So let me know, what are your habits? What are you doing right now habitually every day? Everybody needs routine. Everybody needs habits. Please let me know what those are. I'm really curious. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Now I'm going to do one more. I want to recommend your book. There's this book, The Power of Habit. You can find it on Amazon. It's by an amazing guy called Charles. And he has this amazing book about power of habits and how we reinforce them and all this bunch of other stuff that are really scientific and I cannot talk about because I do not understand them, but he does. So read that book. And I also have another one. Let me see if I can find it. Where was it? Oh yeah. Okay. So really an interesting book that taught me a lot about habits was this one by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this is his biography. Like, this is a big book. It's like 600 pages or something. What it does though, and what was interesting, is it talks about a story. I mean, and Arnold is a pretty like disciplined guy, but a story that really struck my mind was he talked about when he and his father were getting breakfast in the morning before, so the breakfast was ready, everything was ready, and before he could actually sit down and eat, his father would have him do 10 push-ups, and he was like 11 or something. And he has done that each and every morning to kind of like deserve the breakfast. And I think that's really interesting because that kind of habit to do something in order to deserve a pleasurable experience, I think it's an incredible thing to do. So anyways, hope you enjoyed those. I'm going to recommend you more of those if you can make some shots after with the book so that you can read a bunch of them. But in any case, go read those 2 amazing books and gotta bounce.